Welcome to Beyond County Lines with Daniel and Olivia.
Today we're talking about customer service.
Today I think we can have the small talk about customer service and maybe share some stories about maybe terrible customer service that you've received or excellent customer service.
I was thinking back to when I was in high school and I knew this guy who was a DJ at KYVA, AM radio, Gallup, New Mexico.
Sweet.
And the guy was probably 21 or 22 years old. And he had this worldview that was, I do this every day, but I never know who's listening to me. And I never know who might need to hear what I have to say or how it's going to be received. And so he brought his best game every single day to small town AM radio. And I don't know, in his mid-20s, someone was driving through Gallup, New Mexico, heard him on the radio, drove to the radio station, gave him a contract, and he wound up being a pretty famous DJ in Southern California.
Oh, wow.
Because he approached his service in that job with just this above average excellence every single day. And I always think about that when I'm delivering customer service, like you don't know what your audience needs, so you better bring it, So yeah, that always is a story I think of when I think like, I've been doing the same thing for 10 days in a row. Doesn't matter. That customer who's getting it, it's the first time they've received it.
Well, recently, doing communications work here for the county, I have been incredibly moved by the level of customer service that I get from our first responders.
Yes.
And so, I have the privilege of speaking with the battalion chiefs, our incident commanders, people on scene, and they are in the midst of a crisis, of somebody's worst bad day. And I work with the firefighters. They pick up the phone, and they have the utmost respect. They're calm. They have a great attitude, and they're always really great to work with. Yeah. And so they have set an example for myself in which I'm trying to adopt, like even when things are really difficult, like, how can I help you, sir? How can I help you, ma'am? And that's just been really a big culture shift for me, and I have so much appreciation for.
My customer service story is not about the county, but I shared this with our customer service boot camp. I ordered pizza, and you can leave a little comment, and I left a comment. This was like 10 years ago. My son was probably 10 years old, and he liked Mario, and I was dating somebody that had a daughter that was into My Little Pony. So the special comment, I said, please draw Super Mario and My Little Pony on the box, not thinking that they would. The guy came and delivered the box. By the time the pizza got there, I completely forgot about it. And I opened the box and started serving the pizza. And in the lid was a drawing of Mario and My Little Pony. Cool. And I was like so blown away by him taking the time to do that. That was really nice. And it made me feel special. And that's part of the customer service. When you provide customer service, you make somebody feel special, but it also makes you feel really good inside.
Yeah, you can make somebody's day.
Yeah,
it's that difference between a transaction and a relationship. Even if it's a relationship for a minute, when you say, "Oh, a kid who loves My Little Pony and Mario," I know how to draw those, right? I mean, you feel good because you've engaged in a relationship, and it's not just slinging another pizza box. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Any terrible customer service stories?
I have a really bad one.
Let's hear it.
So the other day, I was in northern New Mexico, and I'm also going to protect the guilty because they're a local business. But I went into a local bar, and I went to go buy some snacks and, 6-pack of beer or whatever after a fishing trip with my dad. And I go in, and I get what I need. And I was like, "Oh, excuse me, ma'am." This is the teller that I'm talking to. I was like, "Oh, there's some Cheetos back there. Can I have that bag of Cheetos?" She's all, "Well, you can go get them over there. They're just right behind the counter." I was like, "Oh. Okay." So I did. Went and got my Cheetos, and, she was ringing me up. She didn't even make eye contact with me. She didn't smile. And she says, "Do you want a bag?" And I said, "Yes, I would like a bag." She gets the plastic bag, and she tosses it to me from across the counter. She didn't just hand it. She tossed it to me. I had to bag my own stuff. And she just had this awful, her demeanor. You could tell she was really unhappy. And no kidding, guys, like it took just that experience, and I'm never going there again.
And the irony of that is clearly she was having a bad day, but if she had engaged with you, her day would have gotten better.
Right.
You know, it's not just that she would have been doing her job like she should have been. She would have felt better if she had said, "You went fishing. Where'd you go? How was that? It's
Yes.
raining. Did you catch anything in the rain?" Right. I mean,
Right.
I think one of the things about this initiative that we're launching at the county is we stand to gain as much as any customer we engage with because it reminds us what we're doing, right? We're serving our constituents. And often we get really far away from that service in writing a document or posting a memo. And in fact, back and forth with the customers where that value is. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the worst. Like in other places, you walk in, they don't even acknowledge you, and that's a huge thing. A lot of my customer service experience was in the private sector, but when I was in the assessor's office 6 years ago, we were really pushing customer service, and we came up with this program. I don't remember the acronym, but the very first thing you have to do when somebody walks in is acknowledge them, let them know that you see them, and they've been like just being seen. You know, okay, somebody's gonna help me. So that's very important, just being seen. But that's a good segue into the main topic of today, the county's push for customer service. And we didn't introduce you. Could you say your name, your title?
Sure. I'm Cindy McKee, and my title is Director of Strategic Planning and Operations. And the operations is really all the other things I do. So part of what I do is manage our county strategic plan, but certainly under operations, we think about customer service. So that's what a lot of my time is going to right now.
And a little side note, Cindy is our supervisor.
Yeah. Boss in the house.
Yeah, it really feels like a little family dinner here around this big table. So I love it. I love it.
Could you talk to us a little bit about what you're doing for the county customer service initiative?
Absolutely. So under the umbrella of operations, I have the privilege of working with every department on a whole bunch of different things to see, are we operating as efficiently, as effectively as we can? And so I get to bring this sort of analytical set of lenses to a bunch of departments, look for problems, and then much more importantly, support people as we find solutions. So last year in the fall, we began to talk about customer service and the need to improve our customer service. And it's really important to acknowledge that people at the county are working really hard. I don't know very many people at all here who aren't bringing a lot of energy and a lot of hours to their job. One of the things that we're responsible for is making sure that things happen within the boundaries of regulations. And so there has culturally developed this regulatory mindset. And so many of our colleagues are charged with and responsible for making sure things happen according to all the rules. And in some cases, we've also lost sight of how to do that in a way that feels like a win for the customer, right? And so when I talk about we need to improve our customer service, it's really important to acknowledge that the people who work here have been working hard and diligently and carefully, but we're looking to change the mindset. And that is not to say that people aren't doing a great job. And in fact, almost everybody I know is doing what their boss and their boss's boss have asked them to do. This mindset really begins at the very top, that we're going to look at the work we do and in the end, meet all those regulatory obligations, but do it in a way that infuses a lot more communication, a lot more empathy, so that at the end of the interaction, people feel seen and feel heard, even when they don't get what they want. And our boss, the county manager, often points out that our customers usually don't want to be our customers at the county. People don't want to have to go to jail. They don't want to have a fire. They don't want to have to get a permit to build a garage on their property. They don't want to pay their taxes if they didn't have to.
And just a side note, our customers don't have a choice but to be our customers.
Exactly
There's no
right.
choice.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think I'll pay my taxes somewhere else. Thank you very much. Right.
Or assessing your property,
Yeah.
right? When you used to work for the assessor's office
Right.
and those kinds of, it can feel a little scary, right? Like, oh my gosh, here's here's my local government levying another tax or trying to, get me to pay more money,
The
etc.
stakes are high for
The
people.
stakes are high.
And that
Yeah.
really brings it to this higher level where we must provide excellent customer service
That's
because they don't have a choice in which county serves them. I guess if they moved, but they live within Santa Fe County, we have to.
So with that, right, making it the best experience that you can have.
That's right.
And feeling like you're a part of the community, and that culture shift, like you're saying, Cindy, about, feeling like you're walking in and you're being seen, you're valued, and we're going to help you troubleshoot. Because some of those enforcement, steps or
Yes.
to get a permit or whatever it may be, sometimes they're not the easiest.
In fact, they're almost always really complex, which is why we need great staff. And so there is this really interesting shift right at our fingertips that we can go from being the enforcer to being the shepherd, to being the companion. Like, you need a permit? I'm here to walk you through that. Oh, look, you have 5 extra steps because your building is too big and your lot's too small, but I'm here to help you figure that out, as opposed to, buddy, you are breaking all the rules. So I really see this mindset being one of, we're the experts on the complexities, and therefore we have the responsibility to walk people through these hard processes.
So I know that we're doing a big shift with our at the administrative building, right, which is the
Yes.
most public-facing building here at Santa Fe County. Probably all of our residents go in to pay your taxes or to vote, this upcoming fall. So tell us, what's the vision? What changes can the constituents be prepared to see as you and the team launch this initiative?
I love this question. Thank you, because we've been working really hard on it, but I haven't really said this out loud to anyone. What's going to look different? For those of you who've been in the administrative complex, in the lobby of that beautiful building, there's a round desk, very forward-facing. We often refer to it as the kiosk. That space, for about the last year or so, has been staffed by security guards. And they've done a really great job, really on their own, taking up the responsibility of acting in a receptionist role and showing people where to go. What we're trying to do is elevate that service. So anyone who walks in can, first of all, of course, get direction to where they need to go in the building and make sure that we understand where they need to go is really where they need to go. But then in addition to that, we're looking to make that a one-stop shop. So eventually, not quite yet, but eventually, we would like people to be able to come into that space and maybe pay their utility bill or get a solid waste permit, the kinds of things that otherwise might require them to travel to other places in the county. We also really want to make sure that that space and the people staffing it always provide the right answer and get you all the way through whatever it is you need to solve. Because of that, the customer service center is being staffed by the Board of County Commissioners staff, and we refer to those staff members as constituent services liaisons. Also, we have some staffing being done by our human resource colleagues. So we're really bringing in people who know the county, have great problem-solving skills. We're staffing with our really high-level problem solvers to build out a customer service center and anticipate ways that we can serve the community so that there's never a question that you're going to come in, get answers, get excellence, and see that problem through to its completion.
Yeah. You reminded me of a question in the customer service boot camp, and I hope I don't butcher this too badly. One of the questions, have you gone to the boot camp?
I did. It was
Okay.
so much fun.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm
you
so
will
glad.
remember the question. It's like a true or false. If the customer does not get what they want, is that a win?
I do remember that question.
It's something along those lines.
Yeah.
And everybody in the group said, no, that's not a win. And I said, yes, that is a win.
It sure can be.
It can
And Emma, our great department administrator in the CMO, she said, I asked for speakers a couple of months ago, and everybody laughed at my answer. And I said, no, it is a win for me because I didn't get what I wanted, But Emma tried her best. She said, we don't have that in the budget right now. Do you want me to call IT? No, Emma, that's okay. Well, I can call IT, right? She just tried to find solutions in other ways. I still didn't get the speakers I wanted, but she still tried, and that was still a win. So customer service isn't just getting what you want. It's just getting that effort from somebody and that happiness.
I'm with you 100% because sometimes in local government, I worked as a constituent services liaison, as you know, for a few years. And there are difficult things when you have to tell somebody, I'm really sorry, but the county, that's not in the scope of the county's work. Or this is a huge policy initiative that's going to have to be sponsored by multiple commissioners, not just one. And it could take years to see what you are looking for, like an ordinance change or a change in policy. And sometimes telling people no, can be hard. But at the same time, how you provide and looking for avenues, right? Doing your best to do research and accommodate people and find solutions, I think is what we're really here to do. And so I loved that question because, sometimes it's hard and it's not an easy answer.
Right.
And I think it's really important to remember that the regulatory part of our work, the rules, have a purpose and they have real value. And that's what gives us a county with such high quality of life. So it is our responsibility to enforce those rules, but also to hear out our neighbors, to hear what it is they need and help them to understand why the rules are in place. Daniel, you raised an issue when you told the story about Emma, which is our customer service commitment is not just to external constituents, but also our colleagues, our internal audience. And some of our departments provide services only to our internal audiences, right? Or at least mostly to our internal audiences. And it's really important that we serve each other with the same level of respect and patience and thoroughness that we would serve someone from the outside. And I think that's also a really big culture shift. It's a big shift in our mindset that it is very easy to feel so busy, and everyone here is, but to remember that I'm going to treat you with the same respect that I would treat someone who we might otherwise deem as more important. No one is more important. We're all constituents of one another.
There are success internally, right? For us to be efficient, to get things done, to work together in a really meaningful way has a huge ripple effect outside. So people can see that we can usher or shepherd, items through the county in a way that then delivers.
Yes.
And that's huge. I love that.
That's the other side of my work. The strategic planning part is very internally focused. And so all of my constituents are internal constituents. But if I didn't support them, then we wouldn't have done a good job in planning all the external deliverables that they're going to make happen in the upcoming year.
Cindy gave a presentation on customer service, and I have to give you kudos on everything you've done, not just the presentation. The presentation itself is extremely inspiring. She practiced in here, and I was just like, I want to record this and have her just do a voiceover on it.
That's awesome.
But you've done so much work on getting it all organized and getting the team together, and it's mind-blowing how you did it. And I'm looking forward to getting this customer service on the road and providing it and encouraging it within all the staff. And it's going to be a good next few years, I think, or however long it takes.
It'll be exciting. We're going to roll out some really fun decals and some banners. And so the building is going to look much more vibrant and bright with lots of, messaging that I think will help us be reminded every day that Santa Fe County is committed to one another and committed to our community.
Yes. I appreciate your gratitude, but I want to make sure to say I did not do any of this by myself. We had a customer service task force, which was made up of staff members from across the county who were nominated by their own department directors because they are excellent at providing customer service. And they were innovative, they were positive. Talk about a group of people who just knew we could make this change and believed in it. So thank you for your comments, and huge thanks to the Customer Service Task Force, both of you having weighed in on that group, and I appreciate you. Only thing I would leave you all with is just to hold one another accountable. To the public listening to our podcast, hold us accountable, encourage us. Remember that we're really here to work for you.
All right, this has been Beyond County Lines on customer service. Don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast platforms. That could be Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, or Spotify. We'll see you next time.